I believe that's it. Hey, Derek, three-star draw. Where's Aaron?
I don't know, man. It's Father's Day. He probably got a message about a new kid that he didn't know about, and probably showed up with the card or something. I don't know. He said he'll be here in a few minutes, so I don't know what that means in Aaron time. But he's never too late when he tells us that. So
No, that's true. Well, I mean, you and I are here. That's two-thirds of the backyard battlefield. But then we've got that support group here. And Bobby Wolds is in the chat. Happy Father's Day, Bobby, yourself. I guess. Are you a father? Anybody in the chat a father down south? You don't got no kids, right? You have fur babies, right? Like
yeah,
dog.
none that anybody has made me aware of. No, but my dog, yes, fur baby, my dog counts. So
All
he
right.
didn't get me anything yet, though, bastard.
That's son of a bitch. I mean, at least the cat will bring you a dead bird and drop it off
Yeah,
at the door,
right.
right? Yeah, and
That's
we have
right.
Conwesos in there as well. I apologize. I will never probably say your name the way it's probably meant to be said.
No, you
Uh,
got it right. That's right.
am I? Okay.
Yeah, you can throw a little. You can put a little. You can spice it up a little and say
Huesos.
huesos.
Yeah.
But
I,
you pretty much got it right for anybody that is north of the border.
yeah, I mean, like I've been to Mexico. I knew enough to say no hablo español and then pay out my pesos for the cheap silver, and that was about it. So Spanish is not my forte, guys. And we got you. You're here. I'm
I'm
also
here.
here. Yeah, Sean Jones. Hey, Sean, happy Father's Day to you. And yeah, so and Sean would like to speculate on what Aaron's doing. Yeah. Battling. If he's battling right now, it's probably he's tied up with Missy and she is fighting a war of finish your damn tasks before you go play with your friends, right? So,
I can't imagine the list of stuff she's probably got for him to accomplish before Thursday.
yeah. I can't imagine either because I was looking at Thursday for him. He's got to pick me up from the airport. Punk's coming down, and I think he said he was going to meet with him too. We got a whole bunch
Yeah,
of guys meeting up.
and I think if I'm not mistaken, Loki Wartooth and Daredevil Dave said they were going to stop by and try to visit with Aaron on the way down too. And I think that was on Thursday as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what they told me.
I wonder if he's really tracking that, or if he's like, when we get to Wednesday, I'll read the emails. I know we and him are winging it. Hi, Frank. How you doing? We are
What's
winging
up,
it
Frank?
when we come to Joefest. As far as we're gonna drive from Aaron's place down to Joefest, and then whatever happens after that. We don't know the plan after that, as far as I know. And I got my grievance, buddy. Grievance.
That's
I found a whole bunch of background characters to do Wolverines out of this weekend. So that's what I've been doing is priming and getting those ready because of your idea for Red Dawn, buddy. What were you going to say there, Dick?
I was gonna say that's about the only thing I don't have a plan for is whatever happens when we actually get there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all going to work out. And that's the first time I've been able to say that about an event that I have never been to, where I am kind of winging a lot of it. And
Yeah,
I'm still confident it is all going to work out.
I
Um,
I get so I man I get real anxious. I get the anxiety kicks in when I'm trying to plan for something like
yep.
a trip. It goes to unfathomable levels when I'm trying to get everything together, and especially something like this. It's not just like going to Chattanooga for the weekend or going wherever, going to the camper for the weekend where I stress out about forgetting stuff there. This is like I got to go see people I've been looking forward to, try to make an impression, have a good time, remember everything I want to remember to take. So I'm
Yeah.
on the inside, I'm freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, once I was firm that I was going, I've been planning this for a while and I've been going over a checklist through my head at least every other day, going, okay, what if, should you bring, did you think of, right? but the other side of it is also like, I know each day this week, especially Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be spending a little bit of time standing in front of the mirror going, you will not buy that. You will not buy that. You know, right?
I'm
Just,
gonna I'm gonna be in front of the mirror going, "You are smart, you are strong, and everybody likes you."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Gosh damn it. People
And I'd
like,
be lying about all three, but if I can make myself believe it,
oh man, you're getting the fan base. And that's the other part too. It's also, God, man, like a lot of these people we've talked to so often in the chat and on streams, we've never actually met them in person, right? And
no,
I predict some very unpredictable behaviors, you know, if you think about
yeah,
who's all showing up and who's going to be hanging with who and the perpetual energy that's going to be going.
yeah, it's gonna be non-stop. I think it really felt. I was trying to like halfway plan stuff out and be like, all right, well, this is going on at this time, this is going on at that time. These people are going to be there, those people are going to be there. I want to do this, I want to do that. When am I going to sleep? Like in my mind, I say I'm gonna go to the room and I'm gonna take a nap for an hour or something like that. And that ain't how I work. Like I
Yeah.
get when I get in something like that and the adrenaline and stuff, I'm so excited. Like even if I went up there, I'd probably never be able to actually fall asleep and take a nap. I mean, I can't fall asleep here when I'm trying to fall asleep and got to get up the next day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm 50, man. I'll be 51 in all too soon, months away. But the way I get tired now shocks out of me.
Yeah.
Like just what do you mean it's 8 o'clock and I'm done for the day? Like no way. But sometimes that happens, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
that I can keep it real at Joefest and just stay at the same energy level as everybody else because you don't want to miss any of it, right? Like,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
yeah. So we got Fish Pond Joe's in the chat. Fish Pond, I saw that you had, I think, just joined my channel the other night. So welcome to the chat.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
don't
just,
recognize that name. What's welcome here, Fish Pond?
yeah, yeah. So it's always good to see some new faces, get to know some guys. Fish Pond will get to know you probably over the next several weeks. Who knows? And then I got Stuart Patrick in there. Stuart's been joining us the last few times for sure, getting to know him. I always think of Patrick Stewart, right? Like when I see that name in the chat, right? Like,
I do too. Is that a play on Patrick Stewart, or are you actually Stewart Patrick?
yeah, and I mean,
Frank
if we
Frank
were,
Dumont Hughes here too. What's up, man?
oh, okay, yeah. So there he is, Frank doing you. Yeah, no, with Patrick Stewart, I would just ask, if we got rid of the S, would you choose Xavier or Picard? That would be that would be my question. Grievance, oh come on, all ages, but it is Father's Day, so I'll let you have 3, 2, 1. There you go.
That's how you keep from becoming a Father's Day next year.
It is, yeah, yeah. Oh, did you happen to see that commercial that Ryan Reynolds did for the Deadpool edition aviation gin, the vasectomy?
I have not.
Yeah, it's funny, it's cute, it's worth watching. It's not really all about Deadpool, this whatever. It's him cracking some Father's Day jokes about the desperate need of a vasectomy and how he keeps getting kids. Right. So,
I
yeah,
did not. I'll have to look that up. I didn't see that.
yeah, and you saw it, eh? And the thing was, he makes this little joke about the gin, or not, sorry, the tonic that he uses to make this is Betty Buzz, and Betty Buzz tonic is actually owned by his wife Blake Lively. So the joke really hits when you actually understand that. But yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. I'll have to look that up. And say he does good commercials. I like his commercials for Mint Mobile for that phone service. He's a part owner in. He's got those commercials are funny. He can
yeah.
do man. He can just about do no wrong. I hope he's about. Ryan Reynolds is about like Keanu, man.
He almost did something wrong. you guys know I live here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and he was looking at buying the team at some point, I think. And I was like, no, not of all the Canadian teams you're going to buy, not the Ottawa Senators. This town has enough issues with them with arenas and shit, but that headache. But yeah, no, Ryan Reynolds is one of those Canadian actors. You want everybody to remember when Canada is getting their name dragged through the mud because he's from British Columbia, if I'm not wrong. Same place as a certain unpopular YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. So you want to remember Ryan Reynolds, right? Just remember Ryan Reynolds. All right.
Well, he certainly perpetuates the nice guy image of the friendly, funny Canadian everybody wants to know. So they should give him a national spokesperson spot.
Yeah, and as most of you guys know, I've got my Deadpool mask I sometimes throw on, and well, my first name's Ryan, right? So it's a Canadian thing, right? So I always have to mention at some point.
Right.
So guys, on today's show, regardless of whether Aaron shows up or not, for the 6 people in the chat that are here right now, we're going to talk a bit about the HasLab projection. Of course, we're going to talk some about what we're looking forward to at Joefest and what we've been up to lately, but we're definitely going to talk about some of the HasLab stuff because, as you guys recall, recently they just announced that Dragonfly is getting pushed back, right? And I know Darren, or pardon me, DS, I used my first name and now I'm throwing everybody else, but DS, you've got a HasLab on order for that Dragonfly. I missed out on it, no woes, no care, but that's got an impact on how you feel about it right now too, right? That news, right? So
that was my main gripe with I said that in our last Battlefield, and I think I said it with Pop Blender, like that was my main thing. Was I was pissed off that we didn't get any Dragonfly updates up until that stream, and nothing about it, no nothing, and then we got the little bit of news saying that they were going to push it back. If it was a regular pre-order, I probably wouldn't be too upset that they pushed it back, because that's longer that you're going to have to wait to pay for it. And, you don't get charged till it ships, we know. But the fact that I've already paid for the Dragonfly and they've got my money, they've got everybody's money. It's a little under $8 million of everybody's money, because I did the math last week. And
because you had the time.
I got the time to wait. So
yeah.
I'm kind of ticked off, but at the same time, I want it to be right. So if the issues they're having are, like you said, the stand, or I propose that maybe that was why they did not even mention the lights and didn't have a battery on hand. Maybe they are having issues with the lighting or something. Who knows?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm disappointed because I really wanted the Dragonfly. Is probably my favorite vehicle in G.I. Joe, like overall. Probably the Dragonfly and the Moray, the Rattler, and I don't know, probably the Mauler, but those anyway. So I really, really, really wanted the Dragonfly. I like the Dragonfly way better than the Hiss. So I'm disappointed because I've already paid for it, but at the same time, I want it to be right. I just hope they can get it to us soon. They said summer, originally it was summer. Well, summer lasts until September.
Yeah.
So that now they said by the end of the year. So there's a whole nother quarter there. It's a whole nother 3 months and 2 weeks or so, whatever, that they've got, that they pushed that target date up. So that's just a whole lot longer to get antsy. I mean, it'd be great if it shows up I think it'd be great if it showed up between Thanksgiving and Christmas, kind of like the Hiss did, if they've got to. But that was the target date for the Hiss, though. Hiss didn't get pushed back. They said fall for the Hiss, and they delivered. It was the end of fall, but they delivered.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts on it.
I look at the situation. I'm gonna quickly say hi to Gasland Mechanics, who joined us while we were opening up on the Has Labs here, and then Bobby. I love the joke on this. This was great. Yeah, no, he doesn't look anything like Marlon Wayans. That's complete BS. And yeah, but so I look at this situation and I'm like, all right, let's play pretend for a second and say you're Chris Cox at Hasbro and you've got to deal with the situation. This big push for HasLabs that gained a lot of momentum with the success and the appeal of the his tank, and everybody loved it, right? More or less, that got you a better crowd to come fund this Dragonfly. A
Yeah.
lot of hype, a lot of people waiting for this Dragonfly. Now you've got a problem. Let's say it's electrical and it overheats and it causes a wiring short that actually causes something to melt or something inside, right? Big issue. And you paid a lot of money for it. Now I've got to decide, do I bump back that release date because I need to fix that issue? Of course I do. You're not going to be happy because I've already taken your money, right? Just like you just described. But here's the thing, I can't even give you a month date, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how serious this issue is or whether it can be corrected. Am I the bad guy here by waiting? Like, is Hasbro really the bad guy by pushing these dates back if those are the possible reasons for it? Where it's like, yeah, it'll destroy your product. You'll hate them for it. You paid a lot, right?
No, no, not at all.
Yeah,
They're not if that's the case, they're not the bad guy, but that's the thing. We don't know. If they would have said, we're having an issue getting this or that right, and we want to make sure it's right for you guys and tell us
that's
exactly. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be upset if they come out and said that because,
yeah,
like you said, paid a lot of money for that thing, and the hiss was a win, and they know it was a win. So it's kind of like they say with bands or singers, that sophomore album is always the hardest. If the first album is a success, they know that with the Dragonfly because the hiss turned out so great. So if they said that, I'd be fine with it. But the fact that they didn't say really anything other than, yeah, it's behind, we'll let y'all know
and
that
hey, wait, these last 2 points, exactly right. Our quality tests are important, and we know they do that before they even try to get that thing ready for boxing, right? And transparency is the key. And this was the point I was getting to in three-star draw. Just kind of segue beautifully into it. It would be great if they would trust their consumer base to handle the bad news as it is presented to them. Hey, we have a quality control issue with this flight stand. It tilts over and eventually the Dragonfly will fall. Okay, let the consumers know that. And that's the
yeah.
problem that's holding things up. Why wouldn't you? What is is it made from the blood of African virgins and you're trying to cover that secret? Like this is an age of information. You are dealing with a generation of people who are used to looking up the truth, like
Yeah.
religiously, like zealots. So
Oh yeah.
provide them with the truth, and they're going to make up their own, and that can be very aggravating and affect your budget, right? So
Yeah. And
that's my thought.
Punk has a point. Punk likes to say that you can't make GI Joe fans happy. Like, and there's some truth to that. Like, they put out product that we want, and everybody clamors for it, and then we get it, and there's always something to nitpick or complain about. So I think either way, there's going to be people on either side of it that are going to be, kind of have something to say about it either way, because he does make a good point when he says that, because it's my favorite line. I love the brand, I love the line, but I also don't mind doing a video where I point out something that's jacked up with it and rant about it.
Yeah.
So
No, I
yeah,
mean, like they need calling out. They need calling out. But yeah, I can see Punk's point, but I don't think the issue lays so much in the product now, right? You can make Joe fans happy. If you look back to when you were a child, you were a Joe fan. Were you not happy with that? Were you
oh
complaining
yeah,
about?
we
Were you?
also wasn't spending our own money on it and know the difference either.
There we go. But were you complaining about repaints and things like that? Like the things we complain about as adult collectors now are so many compared to
Yeah.
back then, right? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
swivel arm battle grip came out and it was the greatest fucking thing in the world. Everybody, but nobody sat there and like had this negative critique and points on quality control issues and what it doesn't accomplish. We were just happy to have it. But now as adults, we'll rip it apart, right? So you can make Joe fans happy. I just think Joe fans stand in the way of their own happiness by having different kinds of expectations now. Right. And I'm not saying that we're not allowed to. I have a ton of expectations now, just like everybody else, right? But there's a difference there. I was trying to kill time thinking Aaron's gonna be here any friggin' minute, eh?
Yeah, any minute. What you just said, I would like to hear the perspective of, and there's probably not any out there, or if they are, they probably are too old to even remember it. I'd like to hear that perspective from somebody who was our age when those swivel arms came out, like somebody in their 30s or 40s, if there was anybody back then that collected that stuff as an adult, to see what their thoughts about when that stuff come out. But I mean, anybody like that now, they're going to be, they're going to be in their 70s or 80s now.
Exactly. Right? It's going to be Ron Rudat and two survivors from that era, right?
That'd be like me asking my dad if he, like, well, what'd you think when the swivel arm Joes come out? Did you buy any of them? And he's going to look at me like I spoke to him in Swahili or something. Like, what are you talking about? I worked. I didn't play with toys.
Yeah, exactly, right? I was too busy walking to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know because I grew up just in that bracket era. They were always compared to the original. This isn't 12 inches. He doesn't have Kung Fu grip. And look who's here. Speaking of Kung Fu grip, we'll add you to the stage. Fashionably late. Were you just standing all your troops up waiting? Can you hear us, Aaron? Oh dear, here we go. Remember last week in the
muted.
Before?
All right. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Them things were probably all falling over and he was trying to get them all stood up. That's probably what he was doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a better layout, or my face is, I got to get rid of this banner, but I don't know how to get rid of that StreamYard banner.
You got to go into, it's one of, I think it's brand. You go into brand and it's under banners, and that's one of them that you can remove.
No, okay. Yeah, let's have a look. No,
yeah,
not there. Yeah, it must be under banners then, because that's create a banner. Brand
maybe it's under one of those somewhere.
Yeah,
because it's checked and you can uncheck it.
Delete overlay. There we go. We got it. Thank you, buddy. Back to the comments,
good.
Back to the chat. Aaron, are you able to hear us now? Okay, buddy, you've got no mic. Yep.
All right.
Frank Demonio, you will speak on behalf of Aaron.
Look at the risk he's taking putting a fully formed Voltron beside all of them G.I. Joe classified figures. I bet that thing's glued in place.
Oh, man. You can tell he's got no cat that's tempted by that. My cat would be over.
Oh, I didn't think about that, man. If I still had cats with all of these things in here, there's no way that I'd let them in this room.
Yeah, no, I got two, and it's one of the reasons why I was just like, well, fuck it. I might just wait till the new place, because every time I set my shelves up, the cat jumps on it. Be like, what you doing? Right?
Yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You're good now.
It works.
Joined us. Hey, Aaron. Okay, and we'll just read Bobby's thing while we say hi to Aaron there. So, Aaron, how you been?
I've been doing good, other than my computer everything was unplugged. I guess my daughter must have hit the button over here on the safety electrical thing, and I had to reboot everything. That's why it took me forever, bro. I was like, "Oh shit! I haven't had to enter my password in like months. I don't even know what it is."
She turned off your power strip.
Yeah,
got 86, man.
I did that sitting here one day. It's on the floor. but at the wall under this table, and I was moving my feet around and I hit it. So now I got a box of comics sitting in front of it. I can put my feet on, so I don't do that anymore.
There you go. And that's what you always thought you were going to do with that box of comics, right?
Yeah, it's exactly why I had to move them into a tote that's not transparent now too.
Yeah.
Visionaries.
Yeah. Says, you up the Benny Hill.
Yeah.
I got to find some Benny Hill.
I think that was Grievance that actually shot the idea. In fact, I went back to the live. I'm pretty sure it was Grievance that said to do that, and I had to put it out immediately.
So, Bobby, Visionaries, Battle Beast, and Air Raiders. You've heard that Ramen Toys are bringing them back. Ramen Toys seems to be up to a lot these days.
It's funny what you can get away with when you're in another country with no copyright laws, huh?
Yeah. And, it's different, though, because I hear respect to the name, right? But in any other market, they would have been like those pirates, right? And it's like, no, they found the loop.
I'll say though, I am excited to meet him if I meet him, but I'm excited to see his booth at Joefest, because the stuff that he's delivered on looks great, and I'm excited to see some of it in hand and actually look at it in person. Maybe they'll have a sample you can handle, whatever, but to actually see it in person, the stuff that he's doing now that he's actually delivered some things does look really, really nice. I don't want to see him do Visionaries though.
Yeah, that was really good though.
I like Visionaries. What was that, Aaron? Sorry?
The Ramen Racer.
Yeah, and I saw Punk's review on the Ramen Racer, and while there was minor little detailing problems, they were survivable, I thought.
I love it.
A nice looking car.
I love it. I don't like the price tag on it. But I love it, and I really would love to get that General Lee version. And you guys see that he's going to have one at Joefest that's, I think it's just a prototype now, but it's going up for pre-order there. I think that it's the like Mad Maxed out version of the Ramen.
Oh,
Racer.
Really? I was just following that tank, and that's what I'm going for. But what were you going for, Aaron? Sorry.
I like the black. I like the black one a little better because it's just versatile. But if there's a Mad Max one coming out, I'm all for it.
Oh man, it looks great. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I saw the one that, like I said, the one that Punk was displaying, and all I kept wondering is, does Supernatural have a figure line to show Supernatural? Because that's like the car in there, right?
Yeah, I don't. It's a
challenge.
Car in Super. No, it ain't. The car in Supernatural is an Impala. It's a 60, like a 68 or 72 Impala, something like that.
Still, that car had amazing vibes. I'm surprised Aaron doesn't have it already, and he's ripped it apart.
Nobody's made it.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it enough when it first was coming out and stuff, and I was definitely gonna kind of wait because there were so many people talking about ramen being late and with their product, and so I was just trying to feel it out now, but I definitely want to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, it was up for pre-order for like forever. That was the thing. Everybody was like, that was the thing. Everybody was like, well, are we ever going to actually see it?
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for final product just to come through, and I'll pick it up on the second hand. But next time they have a pre-order, I'll be more likely to jump on it now.
Yeah. And but yeah, for a while there, Aaron wasn't able to squeeze a word in edgewise. We kept him in silent Bob mode, that's for sure.
That's his
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bobby.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Yeah. Adventure Force, similar to the 60th anniversary phase. I think that's an interesting idea, Frank. To have the other lines kind of do what we're doing with the 60th anniversary, make these appearances unnumbered in the classified line. That's an interesting idea. And that is a badass looking Mad Max car. I'm not going to lie.
Wow. That looks amazing. Oh, dude, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
That is right. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's smoking, man.
All right, look at that, man. Got the dozer blade on the
Right,
front.
and it's pieced together out of a couple different ones. Looks like.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
It's offset. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks amazing, man. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look and see what he says about the order.
Man.
But I know he said, I think they said the prototype for this was going to be at Joefest.
Oh wow.
And like you showed when Punk did the review on the other one, if this is just what they're showing in the photographs, you have to imagine there's got to be like 100 different options for what you can lay out on those hubs, that front, those windows, right? Like,
yeah.
All I'm worried about now is a young Mel Gibson head sculpt.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
sure
go.
Loki can probably hook you up. This one is called the Ramen Razor, and the prototype will be at Joefest. It will see you there.
So, Bobby Wald, are you a gearhead? Are you building up rat rods? Are you at the track on weekends there, Bobby? Like, power like that?
Wouldn't surprise me if he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
My late brother had a vitamin C orange 70 Super B.
Oh yeah.
Had the police interceptor in it. That thing, man, that car was so badass. But
yeah,
he had a lot of those over the years, but that one was a standout.
I knew a guy with a lime green one, man, and it was badass. Super big. It was nice.
That's when Dodge and Mopar still meant something.
Yeah, those parts are expensive.
I knew two people. One girl that she's a DJ in Europe now. Or was, and the other guy I met in basic training, both of them own Judges, like GTO Judge. And I was like, holy crap, man. Like, I didn't think I'd know one person, but to know two, I was like, man, like a lot of gearheads in the military too. I just wasn't one. Super B, yeah. One I always wanted was a Nissan Fairlady or an old Datsun, like just the old classic 2-seaters are. Oh, I'd love to buy one of those and restore it.
There's a dude that lives down the road from me that's got a black 280 that goes by in it all the time. That's restored. He's got a bunch of cars, but that's one of them.
Well, if I need anything, I need a truck. And this isn't a car show unless we're talking
about
Yeah,
I was about to say, because I probably have about 30 grand in my toy collection. And I think if I didn't have my toy collection, I would probably have a muscle car, but I decided to go my route.
Yeah.
Well, I had mine. I'll buy another something someday, but I've already had mine. I figured when I bought mine, I'd figured that I was going to buy another bike. I was like, well, I've done motorcycles for a while. I need a hot rod. So I bought a hot rod, and I'm not all that adept at working on them myself. I can do some stuff, but I bought a nice, running, I bought a driver car, that I could just drive around, look good. And I had it for a few years and just kind of got to where that's when I really started getting into going to my, going camping and going down, working on my property and stuff. And it's like, I can't, anytime I'd be spent driving or fooling with this car is the same time I'll be down there. And that is kind of giving me a headache, and that is relaxing. So guess which decision I made? I sold the car and then went on a cruise and then bought a camper.
No, but the well of the camper is a new truck.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next time. But
you gotta do what makes you happy.
That's right.
I'll try.
And Frank, you segue this very well for us. Now that Aaron has joined us, we can revisit something we were just talking about and wanted to talk about today. We need a Thunder Machine soon too. Well, that was one of the 4 vehicles that the HasLab focus group had up in front of them with the Mauler tank, the Arctic Cat, and the Rattler. It was the Thunder Machine when they were saying which would make a good HasLab, right? But that was one that they'd said would probably be a direct-to-shelf retail item, and I think it makes sense because if you think of tier unlocks, we already have a majority of the Dreadnoks. Any tier unlocks for Dreadnoks might get a little bit weird, I think. But Aaron, what are your thoughts on the HasLab pushback for the Dragonfly? I've already heard down south. I'd like to hear yours while I go off camera.
Oh, the future. You mean the HasLab reveal, the one that's coming up?
Well, that
Or do you mean the Dragonfly being
date.
pushed back a month
That
or a few months?
That's the one.
Okay. I like I said when we were talking on the live that Tuesday when the reveal came out, I think it's a good decision because I come across this problem sometimes where I have to wait and I have to take further steps to make one of my projects turn out better, especially remodeling a house or whatnot. And that's the same theory here. Obviously, Lenny's having some troubles. We never did see the LEDs come on. So them pushing it back a few months, I'm all for, because I would rather have them take a little more time on something that I've already invested a lot of money in. Take time, make sure it's right, Lenny. Make sure it's right before it gets out there, because in my mind, his tank was perfect. All right, there was a little bit of problems.
This is exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. That's my.
And it's because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. The his tank was such a delight to receive. There was a little bit of problems with the lid and the hatch coming, but I was able to finesse mine and close mine. It just takes a little tinkering, a little adjustment. But even on the canopies that had problems, Hasbro was on it, man. They replaced them. They had replacement parts. I haven't seen one unhappy customer, and I watch Facebook all the time. So I expect that out of the Dragonfly. I expect Lenny to go ahead, and he definitely stands behind his product. He's making sure it's getting taken care of, and there. So be it. If we're gonna get it around, I've already got my mind set for Christmas. Okay, yeah. So December. I'm already set on December, and I'm happy with that. Fine. If it comes before that, cool.
Yeah, same here. That's what I said. They said now the new target date is by the end of the year. So if it's here by the end of the year, I'm like you. I'm expecting to have it by Christmas. Be my Christmas present to myself that I paid for last July.
Kind of like the his tank came around right beginning of December, wasn't it? We got it
last week of November.
And I think from here out, we can just anticipate that sort of time schedule, that time period. And, one project's always different from another. But, when I knew that they weren't turning on those lights and stuff, and all it is turning a screw and popping in some batteries, that has to be, one of the problems. And he says this is going to be one of the best looking gels that they ever done, so it's going to look a little better than the his tank I'm taking it, but if they're putting a little time in the electronics, go for it.
And sorry, you brought up the batteries, and that was, I think, probably one of the stronger suspects I have for this whole thing. If you look at the design of the Dragonfly, you're looking at a narrow hull. You've got to slide batteries and electronics in there. That's probably not the problem. I think maybe the mathematics were done when they did the weight and balance without maybe the weight of batteries compensated in there or something. Or they could be looking at whether they want to do a USB charging connector port instead. Something along those lines to make those lights unfallible.
Which would be awesome. But when you deal with USB connector, the only problem is when it has a USB connector, it also has some type of battery cell, whether it be modern or old school, but it does, and I think that will be a problem for the international shipping.
And I brought that up because the Ramen Racer had a USB connector port.
Yep.
I would like to see a USB port to make it rechargeable.
Yep.
We get a lot of small electronic things. All of the little desktop lamps and the cool little glowy globes and shit, whatever, stuff you can set out on your desk, like stuff kids would have in a college dorm. They make everything nowadays for batteries or USB. It would have to be both instead of one or the other, because the only problem I see with the USB is a lot of people, I'd say probably most people that are ordering it, are going to have a dedicated space for it somewhere on their shelf, and they don't want a cord running up to it. Whereas opposed to reaching up and just flipping a switch for it, like mine is going to go on top of this cabinet right here. And like I don't want a cord running up there that I've got to run down to a charging cord. But when I have it off of that, if I'm playing with it on my table here or something like that, I wouldn't mind having like, you know, a whatever 3-foot, 5-foot USB cable attached to it, so I can sit here and play with it, you know, with that like that. That's the only thing. If they did a USB, it would have to be both.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is I looked at that stand, and while that stand is wide, and the profile is not so high that you've got a really precarious situation.
Do you think? Let me ask you this, Crow. Since we're talking about the stand, do you think a figure will fit inside that stand?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could picture a guy standing there with a flare or a smoke grenade, bringing a helicopter in. I could picture a cat. Like I pictured Doc right away, flagging him down for a casualty on the stretcher. But yeah, I do. And I like the fact that they could tilt it for the low attack run or a lift off or whatever, or a maneuver. But that wide base, I think about the weight of that stand versus the weight of the Dragonfly. And I'm hoping that's a loaded, weighted base. I didn't see them talk about what's inside that base, but I'm not trusting.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is because we all know, you know, setting something heavier on top of a light base is, you know, very opted. As soon as it's bumped, it would collapse. But
It would just
that's
break people
interesting.
apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Darren?
I'm thinking that, and it's probably occurred to a lot of other people too. I'm thinking that the whole reason that they designed winch to be a wing mounted attachment instead of an underbelly attachment is that's probably right where the battery compartment and the electronics for it's going to go. You know, right in the middle there, it's the widest part of the helicopter, centrally located to run the wires to wherever they're going. So that's probably why we didn't get a old school underbelly mounted winch with it.
And honestly,
I don't like that. I don't.
I like the wing winch, and only because if you take a look at it, it's mounted on that wing, but it gives the if there was a Joe figure, you know, climbing aboard a helicopter, it gives them a little more opportunity to get up to that first bar and swing a leg around and actually get in. Where under the belly, it's like you bring them up so high, and it's like, hey, where do I go from here? You know. So I did like I think it's more classified-y, you know, I guess. Classified.
Well, my main concern is like how much weight are you going to be able to put on that winch, knowing that it's just going to be held on with a dog bone.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
If that does not fit tight and you can't have a figure swinging from it without that thing popping off the wing, that will be a massive fail.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The thing about the winch, I just wanted to point out, there's your tactical Crow right now, pulling up an image of what the Dragonfly was really kind of based off of, right? And it's an attack helicopter, guys. It's the Super Bell, Super Cobra, basically, they based it off of, if I remember right. The Bell AH-1. They don't have winches on attack helicopters. There's no point to it. That thing's loaded out for power, not for picking things up, right? So
winches has always been more like a rescue helicopter thing,
and it's strictly for the play factor of the toy, right? So where they put the winch, it's inconsequential from that perspective. I did want to draw some attention to what Bobby was saying. We're going to get to this in a minute there, Bobby, but we've got one more thing to add here, and just some pics of the Dragonfly that Down South is providing here that's showing what we're talking about here. So do we have a shot of the winch at all?
That is
where it is?
I'll have to find it. This is the actual video. Good morning, Allison. Allison Troy just joined us. What's up, Allison?
Oh, she did too. Hi, Allison. How are you? And guys, we're not ignoring the chat. We're caught on the vein of thought about this because these guys have Dragonflies on the way. This is an upsetting issue to see them back, but let's try and make it more palatable by understanding it, right? Yeah. But okay, so while we're looking for that, let's get to Bobby's point. So we think there possibly might be another classified reveal coming this week before Joefest. I hadn't heard anything on that. Bobby, if you
I
heard something on that, could you tell us a source? But have you guys heard this?
have not.
No,
Not a pre-order drop. I have not.
no. Like I imagine it's a name only or something like that. Possibly. Like I can picture it. We're not deep enough into June for Yojo June to lose that kind of momentum for reveals, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who or what we're gonna see. Let's see. Dragonfly should have had an operational rotary system, or does it look the way for it to be in flight. So I think what Bobby's talking about here is didn't the old Dragonfly have spinning rotors? Like
That thumb slide you pushed it and it spun the rotors. I agree. I wish it had that too. I can see why they own. I mean, the damn blades are going to be 2 feet long on it.
You just have to have your arm out pretty good, or have it at an angle to where the blade was spinning around your head, because it is going to be weird. And I think that's one reason they may have left it out, because it is a bigger version of it. You know, we're talking bigger gearing, more chances for things to break, whatnot. And
now you're actually playing with it. And who's playing with a multi-$100 toy, buzzing it around the yard, going besides Darren?
me and Darren will be. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have races and everything
for sure. But I think we would be doing it fully conscious that this is probably the most precarious, expensive play date we've ever had. Be like, both hands on the helicopter, you know?
Do you guys want that propeller to spin? Just let me know. Do you want it to spin?
And then
you work that out and get all that perfected with yours, and then maybe we'll talk.
I'll get with my engineer and we'll get right down to it.
I am curious though, Aaron, 2 questions, because me and Down South were talking a little bit about it earlier, and now we can all get on the same vein. First, I want to just, Aaron, are you going to turn it into a remote control helicopter?
I cannot do, I'm going to tell you guys right now, because I don't want any disappointments. I cannot do a remote control helicopter, only because those are such balanced, fine-tuned RC instruments that you guys would, it's ridiculous. So if someone does it, man, I'd love to see it, because I've already dabbled with that thought a million times and ran it through my head. I've been looking at helicopter models and everything. It's too, you would never get it balanced.
If you can find you a gas engine for one of the gas models.
You guys are going to get my head cut off.
So before we move into a Rattler discussion, which is what we agreed we would talk about at some point, and I think it's getting to that time where we should start talking about it. I just wanted to hear, and I'll start with Darren, closing thoughts on the figs. Now that we've seen them on the live stream in that video that you have here, they showed the figs. Did you guys want to have a look at the 4 figs and talk about them a little bit before we get into the Rattler?
I know Darren would love to.
Let's put that
up to you guys. Well, I went back and found the winch. That's what you said you were looking for.
We'll have a look at the winch while we say hi to Willem. Hi, Willem.
What's going on, Willem?
Not electric?
No,
what?
That is hand turn.
Yeah. Only Lenny is electric.
Oh.
Yeah. No, that is our manual hand turning winch that we get, is the little knob on the back.
You are 100% correct right there, Darren. I mean, I hope that sucker locks in or something.
Yeah.
I do too. Because I mean, I'm picturing like trying to play with this thing and having it Clutch has had one too many PBRs and drives the vamp off in a ditch, and Wild Bill at 3 a.m. and he takes.
That's right. We're gonna be pulling vamps and mechs and all kinds of stuff out of the woods.
Yeah. So when you snap it on, and it sounds like it snaps on pretty well, but I mean, you see how easy he put that in there.
Wow.
I don't see you suspending anything more than hopefully a figure from this.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, you're not going to be, I mean, I wouldn't feel right trying to hook a vamp up into it. I wouldn't think that a Dragonfly could carry a vamp, but maybe a ram or something. But yeah, any weight beyond a figure, is going to be the ultimate test, and I think it's going to fail.
Definitely a vamp loaded up with gridiron. I'll tell you that. That's way too heavy.
No, you need a
Yeah.
tomahawk classified for that at minimum.
Yeah.
So,
Bring on the tomahawk, baby.
Frank Dumonio, buddy, that is exactly what each of our parents, if you had the Dragonfly in the 80s, you had this conversation at some point, right? Darren or Aaron, either you guys ever get clipped by one of your Joe toys the wrong way and just move on?
I have been clipped by my Dragonfly many times when I was a kid. I can remember it whacking me in the eye, and I didn't care. I was like, oh, shit. I kept trucking, man. I was on a mission.
I like Bobby's
I got hit.
Yeah.
And Bobby, this is another reason why you want to make sure that those things are, if you're going to hang this over your ceiling, I really hope those dog bones hold up, buddy, because nothing like waking up to a rainy dragonfly falling on your face, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know this. I think this thing's going to be heavy enough that it's going to throw your ceiling fan off balance with it hanging. So I'm going to be right back, fellas. My dog has come to inform me that he needs to go out to the restroom, so I will return in just a couple minutes.
And when you get back, we'll talk about the dragonfly figures and we'll move things on. But no problems there.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the video stopped on them over here. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Be right back.
It's potty time.
Yeah. So, brother, I mean, we're counting down the days. We were talking about it at the beginning.
I know. Isn't it crazy? Like, I'll be seeing you Thursday. Isn't that nuts?
And we were talking about Thursday. It sounds like everybody's just swarming on Thursday. I'm like, oh, man, Aaron's going to be all over the place on Thursday because I'm coming, Punk's coming, Loki.
Missy will be here, so my only concern for Thursday is just picking you up from the airport, getting you back home, and making sure everyone's like relaxed, well rested. We got some stuff to eat. I don't want anyone to feel any pressure, including Punk, that like we're gonna have to do a bunch of shit on the first day. Let's get established, let's get comfortable, and we can do whatever you guys want.
I was more worried you would feel that pressure, be like,
no, I think Punk thinks that he's like walking into like a big film episode and all that. And I mean, of course we're going to do that stuff, but there's no pressure, especially on the first day. You got to think we got 3 days of recording that we're going to be doing. It's going to be great. So we'll get it comfortable, get established and all that. I was going to set this next to Punk's bed so he would feel more comfortable at my home, but I was going to put a big block of wood about this long with some ropes and stuff, and then set the sledgehammer next to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever seen Misery?
I've read Misery. I've seen the movie.
I figured that would be a good welcoming, you'd feel comfortable.
Tell Punk he's a dirty bird every day. You're a dirty bird, Punk.
You're never leaving this place.
We're your number one fan.
I think that would be his worst fear.
Yeah.
I'm your number one fan.
You'll know we did that if you start seeing weird shit happening Thursdays with a friend. Like it's just Aaron for 3 weeks straight and Punk's happy about it. It's because we got him.
Yeah. But there's gonna be a lot of jokes and not necessarily we'll probably do the pranks next year, but there's gonna be a lot of jokes this year.
All joking aside, guys, for those in the chat wondering,
you gotta work up to the pranks.
Yeah. But to make Punk feel better if he does see this at any point, and the guys in the chat, I mean, we are realistic people. We are in our 40s and 50s. Everything we do will be done in super stints, followed by complete silence while we all take a breath for 3 hours, re-spool and do it again, right? Like,
yeah, Skyfall says it best. Yeah,
yeah.
Trust me, it's for the best.
That's right. Now that Aaron's got membership streams where he shows the outtakes, we're fueling his channel a little bit.
Yes, you guys know that, and I mean, guys, let me know if we're ever making content and there's something that you absolutely aren't sure about being put on. Please let me know, because there's no telling what I'll put on in my membership, because that stuff isn't monetized. It It is. I can go wild in there, and that's the best part about memberships.
And you and I will have a lot of long talks about all that stuff because that's where I learn stuff. I am 2 tactical bounds behind Aaron, as I should be, watching and supporting with fire. But moreover, Mickey, if he hits an IED, I know oh man, I better watch out that area, right? So when I see him doing stuff, I am watching, and I'm to take my lessons from it, right? So
just like I did with other people ahead of me. You get a lot of info from different toy tubers as you grow and stuff, and you got to take it in stride and do what's going to be best for you and make good decisions, as you go along. Because there's grievance. There's grievance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's been here a while.
Oh, he's been here. Oh, grievance. Yeah.
Yeah. And
hey, buddy.
Got a question. He must be talking about my bed. I don't know whose bed he's talking about here.
Zoom in and start counting, grievance.
Yeah. But yeah, he's wondering if you're making any concessions for either of your guests. I guess in that comment. Did you buy
a special? No, I got bunk beds for everyone, and that'll be followed up with a little bedtime story and some milk and cookies at night.
Oh, good. I'm telling.
Of course, I'll supplement.
I call bottom bunk. Wait, no. I got to think about that too, because you said you got bunk beds. Now I know you didn't go out and buy them, which means you probably fucking made them.
No,
I've seen Step Brothers. I know how this turns out. Maybe I want top bunk. I don't know.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding about the bunk beds. We don't. But wouldn't that be cute if I did, man?
Yeah, adorable.
Some onesie pajamas and stuff.
All right. Well, we got Darren back. We were just talking about this shenanigans.
Talking about carrying Punk the bed in his little sleep cap again.
He's gonna punch us all right in the gut when we get there. Just a big heart punch right off the bat. Be like, I watched your stream. Boom.
Probably he's gonna pull some kind of Street Fighter shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now that that's out of the way. So hey, let's get if you dare, DS, if you still got that Hasbro stream available, we could quickly talk about Ripcord, Glenda, Crazy Legs, and
how are you guys doing that, by the way? Are you guys sharing controls today? Is that how it's set up?
No, I'm just hitting share screen and adding it and removing it.
He's
you can do that when you're a guest?
Yeah.
Do it?
You can do that when you're a guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing up. It comes up as a new guest on my screen.
Yeah, I mean,
I did not know.
Yeah, whoever's the host just will see it pop up and they have to approve it.
Oh, okay. I learn something every day. See?
Yep.
So do you want to maybe scroll to where they get, the first character they start talking about, and then I'll full screen that and we'll talk about them. But
I didn't know how much time you wanted to spend on it, so I went all the way.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have to spend much time on it. Like right now we're looking at
this is why I skip around and it plays an ad. So
you can tell me and Darren don't have premium by far.
No.
He needs an action figure.
Yeah, I would buy it. I love that dude. I actually wanted to do. He does not. I actually wanted to go as that guy for Halloween. I got a buddy named Jake, and he was going to go as Jake from State Farm before Jake from State Farm was race swapped, and his wife was going to go as Flo, and I was going to go as Mayhem.
Nice. Oh, man.
So there's my boy right there. That's the reason I bought the Dragonfly.
All the detail they put into his leather work, man. I mean,
yeah, he looks great.
Immaculate.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I think it's everything you probably expect from Wild Bill, but a little bit more. Those hair pieces, they gave you options strictly for the photographer in you, right?
Yeah.
Because hey, while we're on Wild Bill, really quick, I wanted to ask you guys, do you think this is going to be the high dollar figure out of the four, like Cobra Commander kind of was?
Yes.
On the second
probably.
Yeah, given the comparison. I mean, you are dealing with competition with Glenda, which I don't think a lot of people care about, but then 2 Night Force figures after that. But yeah, it's Wild Bill.
The dude.
Yeah, I think actually I think it will be him or it will be Crazy or not, Ripcord. because everybody's going to be trying to complete their Night Force, and Wild Bill and Glenda are not Night Force or not in Night Force colors. So I don't know. It could be kind of like Clutch. People that buy multiple Dragonflies only need one Wild Bill.
That's right.
So it may be Glenda and Ripcord when Crazy Legs. I think Glenda and Crazy Legs are gonna surprise on the secondary.
Yeah. Oh, and we got Legend Series in the chat. What's up, Tony? Welcome. And we're just getting into summing up what we think of these figures coming with the
Tony?
And then we're going to talk about the Rattler for a bit because it seems to be the hot topic. But I did like how those boxes lined up for another image. I did like that. And with Wild Bill, what I liked was for the photographers, one hat that he wears has the hair attached to it. And then he's got a separate hair piece and a hat for him to hold in his hand. So it's done very separately. And that was strictly for the imagery of it. I thought that was really considerate of them. But I do like the way the figures have that linear image of the attack helicopters there. What do you guys think of that?
Oh, yeah. It looks really great. And, man, to be honest, like, I was totally blown away when they did the box art like that. But I really loved it. When we seen our first glimpse of some box art that was similar to this, it was the twins, Zaymont and Tomax. And it was supposed to be, if you lined them up, that, you know, you would get that image of the Cobra symbol and whatnot. And I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, wasn't that kind of messed up, or didn't they have?
Yeah, they inverted it. They
inverted
backwards.
And that is a big, you know, like, God, you guys were shooting for the moon and you got to the telephone pole, you know. It's like, man, you know, you could have just, you know, the effort that needed to be put in, but obviously they got it straight. And you know, it was very comedic watching Lenny.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was awesome.
And I'm the same. I love what they did here, because if you're either an inbox collector or you just like to display the boxes like some of us do, this is going to set everything apart on your shelf. It's going to be fire on the shelf if you're showing the spines for your boxes. Yeah. And like has been mentioned before, they finally got with the program and put the art on the same side as the fucking number for, you know, finally, after this is what the fourth or fifth itineration of these boxes. Yeah. So I love the artwork, and I love that with the picture lined up. I love that it is capped with that image of Wild Bill. I would like to get a poster of this. I've already got one Rudat sketch of Wild Bill in here, but I would love to get a poster of that with him aiming and tipping his hat with the other.
Yeah, definitely great picks. Great boxes. And just saying, hey, same time Toys is here. If you haven't checked out his channel, make sure you do that. But I'm pretty sure the 12 people or 11 people we have in the chat have all checked out Shane's channel. But he was off the bed and he happened across us there. So welcome to the chat, guys. And oh yeah, thanks very much there, guys. Now you got to get a real job, eh, buddy? Well, YouTube can be a real job. You just keep at it.
Yeah, Shane. I hope you pick up something better, man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
The thing I liked about I think it was the Crazy Legs fig that I was gonna get into was the parachutist loader's hat, right? This special red hat that he's got. That you know, like it's not like everybody just knows how to pack a parachute, right? Like I thought that was a neat little ad. There it is, right there, yeah. And just the different look to the kit, because with the Night Force colors, it's easy to lose sight that was Ripcord, or not Ripcord, Crazy Legs.
Yeah.
Red was a big part of his uniform, right? So.
Yeah, they put just enough other red on here. I'd like to see maybe a little on the legs. If they give him those knee pads we all love so much, maybe hit those in red. Maybe a cuff around the wrist and the top of the pants, but of course his pants would be tucked into the boots, but maybe just a little more red somewhere here on the legs. But I think he looks really good, and I'll tell you, I'm not at all, or was not at all, excited for Crazy Legs. I don't care about Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs died every time I played with him, I played with my G.I. Joes.
Him and oh man, the guy that came with
Sneak Peek.
Sneak Peek, yes.
Yeah,
man.
they often died together.
Yeah.
But this version though, I am excited for this because I know I think it was Travis Moody that talked about or that I heard talk about, probably been a lot of people talk about the head sculpt for him, how he, he looks like he's 22, 23 years old. He looks like a young dude. He's got a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow. I like that. I kind of like that different direction that they went with this figure. So I am kind of excited for him. He's probably still going to die, but I mean, he looks good while he's doing it.
Oh, he's still going to die.
I will test the strength of that winch.
You mentioned Sneak Peek and Crazy Legs, and I know a lot of the guys are thinking the red and gray, and then Sneak Peek's Periscope was a ridiculous piece of kit. The thing that got me about Sneak Peek is it says on his file card he's a reconnaissance specialist, and I couldn't see this guy sneaking through a Walmart, much less the woods. Like there's nothing he could blend with, right? But I think Classified will do an amazing Sneak Peek and blow your mind. That's my theory on that. But
Glenda, I agree.
Yeah, Glenda, there's a controversy.
I liked this figure from the beginning once I found out who she was, because I knew about the overseas, the foreign releases, but I do not really know, who all of them are, and never kept up with it. So once I found out who she was, I love this idea of including her with the Dragonfly, and I think she looks really good. A lot of people are dissing the head sculpt versus the render, but I'm still excited for her.
What do you think about we know it's the retro Scarlet Buck, and that this got leaked, where people knew about this before they ever saw the retro Scarlet, but here we have Glenda, and they didn't take any bother to switch out those wrists, so she's got Scarlet's throwing stars.
She does, but so did the original Glenda.
Did she? Okay. So she was like the British Scarlet, or
am I wrong, or is that the whole Scarlet?
Yeah, I think it's all Scarlet.
It's the whole retro.
But
it's the kit that everybody's talking about, though, right? DS,
this is Flash's gear.
Yeah.
The backpack and the laser rifle. So it's the same way that when we saw this figure, we knew we were getting retro Scarlet. The same way we see this gear with her, we know we're going to be getting some version of Flash soon.
Yeah. So just to move it along, guys, because I'm looking at the time, and I did remember that at some point I have to go out for a Father's Day brunch. So I'm just going to what do you think of this figure, Aaron, before we move on to one more, and then we'll talk about the Rattler a bit.
Glenda, man, I was not hyped at all. And then as I learned about Glenda and, whatever undercover Scarlet, whatever, thing connection that she has and ties in, it made more sense. And now that I see the figure, I love it. I really like these figures, especially Glenda, because of these pilot helmets that they're coming with, the red hat that Crazy Legs is coming with. I love that stuff, man. Yep. And I can use it on other figures, and it's going to be versatile. They look clean. I love the colors that are popping. That's the thing about G.I. Joe. As you look at your shelves, I know I have just armies back behind me, but as I look at my other shelves, with all the figures, they're all different colors, and they're all different, different like emotions pop from them colors with me and resonate with me. When I see that green, in the reds and just. It's a rainbow of colors, G.I. Joe is, and I think they did good, pretty good, considering they had 2 Night Force blacked out.
It is June, so
and that made Glenda stand out even more to me. Is I actually like that color set because she doesn't look like anything else we got going on in Joe right now. I noticed that her face looks a little haggard and stressed out. I love that for a supermodel.
I love that you called her haggard.
But we haven't
but-
had a head sculpt like that, have we?
Yeah, no, like where's the tired
Falcon.
Joes, right? It's low light, and now we have her.
Gets to do it, right?
But 15 in the chat, we're at the all time. Let's talk really quickly, just not maybe so much about ripcord, but just one of the concepts that was introduced because it flows into what we're waiting on hearing more at SDCC about parachutes and our action figures. Okay, if you look at the parachute riggings on these characters, they have little mounts where you can tie some strings and mount a parachute. And what's been said is that when we get our 60th anniversary pilot, who will be a Halo jumper, you're going to get a parachute. Are you going to throw your soldiers in the air the way you did as a kid?
100%.
Yeah, I know.
First time I get it in my hand.
If I wind up actually buying another 60th anniversary figure, I will probably be excited and happy to throw it. But I'll tell you what I'm thinking though, Crow. What I'm thinking though, Crow, is if I do, I will test the parachute. Now I don't know how good of a test it'll be, but I've got my house is 2 stories and I got a deck, so I'm thinking about setting a camera up on the bottom underneath my deck, and
I will.
Here's the thing.
I will get a.
It's already going to be loose and janky, so might as well,
if they start pumping out parachutes, you can almost guarantee that there's going to be epic drops made off of bridges and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be crazy.
The thing. I'm gonna, as soon as that thing comes out, yes, I'll go to the secondary market. I want those figures for this, but I'm going to be supervising these two as they're dropping, because I'm going to tell them right away.
We're going to break all our shit.
I'm going to tell you right away. Good job tying those parachutes before you throw it, not after. I'm going to tell you, maybe take the pistol and the knife and all the little hit off that soldier right now before, because I've seen Gary.
How's he going to stab someone after he lands?
You already know I'll be taking the accessories off before I throw them.
Fully loaded, dude.
Yeah, because I'll be like, we're going to be searching Darren's lawn for parachute effects.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 2 weeks searching for lights that weren't even in the yard, so
we're going to have to secret spray it with like UV light stuff, right? We'll spray all our gear down with the invisible light stuff, and then we'll go in there with flashlights later to find it.
Yeah, but the parachute made me laugh because I was like, who do you think you're selling this multi-$100 dragonfly to right now, Hasbro? What do you think's going to happen here? It's not the 80s again. We're not 12. Yes. Who cares what happens to this figure?
Yeah. Because I had what else? Who else came with parachute? Was it Sky Force?
Ace had one in the
Sky Striker.
Yeah, but the Sky Patrol.
Those guys,
they came with parachutes.
Yeah, all those guys. And that's something I'm waiting to show up in classified as well, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
We've worked through a lot of the main units.
What about the epic scene? I mean, where, the Statue of Liberty scene with the movie and everything. And I mean, those
teabagging.
Dude, they're just coming out with those Cobra parachutes, man. I mean, like, I feel like I got to make those now, man.
And that's what Hasbro
the teabag soldier.
Feel you pawn, you sheeple, you're falling for it. You have to buy it all now. They got you. Yeah, I get it, because those cartoons, the imagery is stuck with you for how many years?
Yep.
Forever. I still get excited when I see it to this day.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'll turn on the G.I. Joe the movie, and I'll usually just let it play, but I turn it on because I want to see the opening credits. And after all these years, like when it gets to that part, man, like my hair still prickles when it gets to who will turn the tide.
That's a great intro.
Blast that motherfucker off the hang glider. Hell
yeah. That's hype, baby, for G.I. Joe.
and then the movie shit the bed after that for the most part. But at least the intro was memorable.
Then they Woody farted on it.
Yeah. We did here's a topic you guys can think about. We won't get into it, but real quick, I mentioned on my stream with Pop Blender way back when I was on that Devil's Due forum when Image and Devil's Due brought G.I. Joe back from the brink of death. And one of the topics that we had on that forum, and I'm really interested to see now, so you guys think about it, and we'll bring it back up again later. What band would you like to see cover the theme song for the intro for G.I. Joe the movie? So,
what band would
guys
you
think
like?
about it?
Yeah, there's a few
Guys,
out there. Yeah.
guys think back then, I will go ahead and say back then, my number one choice I'd like to hear redo it was Aaron's shirt.
Aaron,
Yeah, baby.
Metallica. Oh, okay.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, so guys think about that. We'll come back to it maybe in a
That'd be
couple of
awesome,
weeks when
bro.
we do this again.
Right off the top of my head, I thought of, have you ever heard of Richard Cheese? Dick
No.
Cheese? No.
Dick
If you've
Cheese?
seen the movie Dawn of the Dead, he's the one that sings Down with the Sickness in Dawn of the Dead. He's like a biggest lounge act version of metal.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So it was
I have heard that.
Disturbed.
Yeah, it's an old Disturbed song, but Richard
Yeah.
Cheese does everything like he's singing to a small Vegas
Yeah,
lounge.
like a lounge singer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey guys, I do have that
What's up,
brunch
Dave?
for Father's Day. I want to get into this Rattler thing.
Triple
because I
D.
heard you guys have some thoughts on it.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you? We were talking about it. Who mentioned that they wanted to talk about the Rattler first today?
No, I believe
that would be Aaron.
Darren had a lot of info that he wanted to give out.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of info I'd love to give out on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, not bullshitting anyone. We were just going to talk a little bit about the Rattler because it's the most likely candidate that all of us are kind of just saying, yeah, that's probably going to be it. Right.
Yeah. I sold my soul on it.
And you sold your soul on it?
Yeah.
So that's how you bought all the rest of the figures.
Yeah, I knew there was a bloody contract somewhere. But SDCC is where Emily gets to talk about the HasLab project this year, and we're all waiting to hear that it's going to be the Rattler, and we'll all go, okay, like at least we don't have to speculate anymore. I guess
honestly, if it's the hydrofoil or the Rattler, I don't care.
Okay, so you're convinced it's got to be a Cobra vehicle one way or the other?
Oh yeah, it's got to be a Cobra.
Yeah,
Down south?
Yeah. I think no matter what, it's going to be Cobra or it's going to be Iron Grenadier.
Yeah, I think it's. Dragonfly. You would make sense that you would do another Cobra vehicle now, so I could get behind it. The Rattler does make sense. Who had the Rattler as a kid?
Oh, I did not. I did not.
What? You did not? Did you play?
He
with
makes up for it. He's got like 12 of them now. He's made up for it.
I actually I've been restoring and selling Rattlers for a good bit. I say at least a good 8 years, and honestly, I only have one good one in the house now. I've actually parted with a lot, and then but here's the thing: I come across them all the time. It's kind of like the whale. Like I've done restored and redone so many whales. There's no doubt in my mind that I could come across another one and do the same thing. You know, so I've got parts and bits and pieces, but yeah, I got one good one right now.
The reason I asked it, down south, when you played with your Rattler the most as a kid, which panels did you have on it? The new ones or the gunned up ones? The ones that were shot up?
Oh, I lost most of those, but I just had the pristine ones on there.
Yeah.
I like that thing. That was an absolutely amazing toy. It was that was innovative. Lots of stuff. I mean, it had a shitload of stuff to lose, but that is one of my memories that will be something I talk about with Pop at one point was when I got my Rattler. Still remember it vividly. And I had so much fun playing with that thing.
Yeah.
They're awesome toys. I never had one personally, but man, my friends had them, and like we would mingle with them. So I did get my hands on them. I just wasn't lucky enough to score one.
Yeah, and We've heard a lot of different things about HasLabs and the way that they're running them and the way they aren't, like what Shane's saying here. Don't want to run more than one HasLab at a time, but yet they are in one way or the other. Either they're doing Star Wars concurrently with Joe or they're doing multiple projects. If you look at it as a phase of operations, I mean, there's probably multiple HasLab projects on the go in some level, either planning, development, whatever, right? So, but this comment I did want to say, I don't think that's ever really likely at all. The $800 HasLab, I don't think you're ever going to see them exceed what they're at right now for the Joe stuff. Only because Darren, or pardon me, I keep saying your name, Three-Star Draw actually made a really good point. How much capital for the Dragonfly would you have estimated they had initially going into it? Like they already have your money in their hands. How much of that before release was that?
It's a little under $8 million.
Okay, so and that was at how much for one Dragonfly?
$274.99.
Yeah.
Okay, how many guys would have bought that at $800 for anything? How many people have that kind of spending? I don't think Hasbro could ever get the startup they would need to justify an $800 project just based off the returns of their market. I don't think they're there. Anybody disagree with that?
So huge too.
I don't think they're there, but I think they're gonna be.
You think they're gonna be? Yeah.
I don't know. You know, we're talking about what we think this year's may be. If it's a Rattler, I don't see the Rattler being less than 350. Whatever it is, though, if people bite, I mean, it's their hottest line, arguably against Transformers. It's killing Star Wars, and it's keeping up with Transformers at least, if not surpassing it. They're going to raise these HasLab prices. I mean, we've been lucky with the two G.I. Joe ones versus what some of the others have been.
That's what I had to think of. I knew there was one in my head that was kind of contrary to what I was saying, and it was the Star Wars Ghost. That thing is a massive piece, that ship, and I was curious what the price point was on that, because if that was sitting around the 500 to 600, if I thought
the katana Jabba's sail barge
Cantina?
was the Jabba sail barge. It was like the first one that they did, and also the most expensive one. And Unicron. I think Unicron. What was Unicron? Y'all, Unicron was like $699, and I think the katana was $499 or $595. $599.
Maybe I'm wrong. Then maybe there is a market for those higher ends.
But those are also less quantities produced, which obviously makes them rarer on top of being a HasLab.
Yeah.
But the sail barge is like 4 feet long.
Yeah.
So, and it's like 2 or 3 levels high. I've never seen one. I'd love to see one in person. But with the success of G.I. Joe, of course, that is for 3 3/4 though, of course. But with the success of G.I. Joe and the way these HasLabs fund for them versus how they do for other things, the quickness, I think the price on them is going up. It might not go drastically this year. I think they'll dip their toe in this year with raising the price, something like $350 or maybe a little more. But once we all buy this one, because we're going to, it would not surprise me if we see something that's $500 or $600 next year.
And so I said that to the comment on the Firebat, thinking 800 too much. I still personally feel that way, but I clearly don't have the perspective on it that maybe is fair to it. I think maybe that is something that is possible down the line. I wouldn't have thought of it, and I wouldn't have predicted them wanting to do it, but others might. So the Rattler guys, Aaron, you've rebuilt a few, and I know. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I just set my glasses down. Shane was saying, whenever you're ready to part with one, let us know.
Yeah. I'll find one for you, buddy. I'll find one and rebuild it. I'm gonna start. I haven't been hitting up my local dealer, and he's been my toy dealer for years and years. I don't even know how long, but He's a really good guy, and I just haven't been hooking up with him lately. And he has a Facebook that I keep track on Marketplace, and he constantly sells toys and is coming into contact with toys. How, I don't know. He can do it more so than I can, but there are always some vintage toys that he has a killer deal on. I just got to get back in the loop with him, and that's where I acquired most of them. Sometimes I get lucky and I'll find them in little mom and pops thrift shops where, you know, people rent out booths and want to sell their stuff. That's a good place. Try your thrift stores and antique stores. Believe it or not, I found a lot of vintage GI Joes in antique stores.
Antique stores, yes, where they might have 8 or 10 figures just sitting on a shelf somewhere. They might not even have a big toy section.
And they're always cheap.
Yep, because they don't. They're just got them in a lot. They bought somebody's estate. They just know they're old figures. I've seen that in straight up antique stores a lot more than I have in like, you know, toy malls.
We got one right by the house that I didn't know about, Darren. Otherwise, I would have took you to it. But Crow, as soon as you get here, man, we're gonna buzz over because it's only.
You know, I'll fill up my suitcase with some sort of shopping in that area. Yeah, guys, you know I'm a big advocate of stores. I find them all the time. This here is a $2.99 Cobra water moccasin found at a thrift store. It's missing a side.
That's awesome,
right? Like, yeah. I'm looking at the time, guys, and I just wanted to tell everybody we got 14 people in the chat. Thank you so much.
Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, by the way. I know you guys said it.
Yep. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in or out. It would be much appreciated to help us get a Father's Day gift out of that algorithm at some point. But I did want to just quickly sum this up with with your guys' thoughts, seeing as we're talking about that Rattler, and we got about 10 minutes before I have to get ready for my Father's Day brunch. The characters. We know Wild Weasel would come with it. That's a gimme. What are your votes? Say you get the traditional 4 and one's already been done. I want to hear Down South 77 talk about which 3 he'd like. And then I'd like to hear Aaron, if you guys don't mind. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys in the chat, I also want to see what you guys are naming for some of these characters. Get creative because it's all on the table, right, Hasbro? So let's give Darren the stage for a minute.
Of course, we're going to get Wild Weasel, and he needs to be in traditional Wild Weasel colors. I've seen people say that they're going to, you know, add more blue to him and make him different. No, Wild Weasel is Wild Weasel. The only way, if they did go with more blue, it would look more like his original cartoon appearance, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it for a HasLab. So Wild Weasel and all his glory from the original release. And the next one that absolutely has to come with it is a pilot version of the Baroness. You can maybe give her a flight suit similar to Wild Weasel's, but it needs to have that helmeted head with the visor or the intercom with the comm link or whatever. However you want to do the outfit, but I think it would be some kind of a matching flight suit outfit for her. There needs to be a Rattler gunner for the back, for the little pop-up with the rotating guns behind the cockpit. That could also, yes, that is it. It could also be similar to Wild Weasel, the way that they did with the Hiss gunner. And somebody mentioned it, Bobby Wald right there. You've got it pulled up. Raven, the Night Raven pilot from the cartoon episode, but I don't see them pulling that much stuff from the cartoon. I'd like to see her, but I really think a 4th one would be some kind of a ground crew. And, you know, I don't necessarily think the ketchup and mustard, but I think it would be a ground crew, maybe in a similar flight suit. And he's got the checkerboard or the caution squares, the yellow and black or white and black, you know, markings on his suit, you know, to signify, hey, don't run me over when you land. I think it would probably be those 4. Raven as a dark horse, but she was also a Stratoviper pilot. She wasn't associated really with the Rattler. So I think they might get to her at some point if they do cartoon stuff, but I would really think a ground crew dude or chick more than Raven.
Okay, well, we got. Now let's get you out of solo layout. I think you've hit the big ones there, and I just see in the comments a lot of guys are kind of agreeing, especially with the Baroness and whatnot. But Aaron, did you have anything different than that? I'm going to give you the stage now.
Well, I basically want to recap on that because he Darren definitely hitting on all the points there, and there was someone on Facebook. His name is Roll Robles. I hope I'm saying that right. We're gonna see it
here. Yeah.
Roll Robles. The pre-render adjuster, you might say, for Facebook. All right, and we're gonna take a look at his little thing really quick, if I can. Yeah, and you can see this is the render, and he does have Wild Weasel there, and he's got him more in a blue outfit, okay. And there is a gunner. There is the Baroness variant, which I do like. I like the red and the black, and I think it's really popping off. And I don't mind the Wild Weasel blue look, but I do want my Wild Weasel red. You know, I have to say that's one of the things that just has to be done. Now, as far as the trooper that he has, the mystery trooper on the end there, I would, like Darren was saying, I would really like to see them shooting more towards a Strata Viper, only for the reason that I don't think we're going to see the Raven because it is such a huge. Maybe Darren's right. Maybe we will see it later on when funding is more available, and that does come with reuse of parts, and they're buying a lot of figures that are reused parts. So maybe Hasbro is making money and adjustments for that. But I think if they released the Strata Viper as an additional pilot, that nobody would even complain. In fact, I think that red and black that the Strata Viper is carrying would sport right next to my phone went off, right next to the Baroness quite well, and give those popping colors that we want. That the reds and the blacks and even the blues all popping in one unit there. I think it would be great, but speculations can only go so far. You got to have a gunner. Got to have Wild Weasel. Got to have a gunner. And I think everyone is really solid on the Baroness pilot.
He didn't make that until after I said it online for the first time. So I take
That's
credit for that. I doubt he ever heard that I said that online, but I said that online right. That
I'll about restart drawing.
He made that, like, I saw it pop up like 2 days after we talked about it on the stream.
You got his gears turning up.
Every time a new drop comes out, eventually he does one of those, and they're really fun to look at for sure.
Yep, and puts them out there, and everybody goes, "Hey, look, these are the new renders for the new figures," and he just whistles and looks the other fucking way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, enjoy yourselves, bitches.
Sorry, guys.
So, I'll talk about what Shane here has put up, a tow system for the missile. I'm actually going to talk about what I think the fours are, but just really quickly, there was a certain show that we've stopped talking about because it's a dead topic now. They said, we contacted a special person in the U.S. military, and they shared their insights. And this came up, having a towing weapons mounting system, something for the runway dioramas, either a missile rack, tow feature, all that other stuff. And I laughed at them. I was like, you didn't need an Air Force specialist to do that. You go to a model store and look at any layout for a jet model airplane. Yeah. That's it, right? Exactly. Like the low-hanging fruit. But I'm with you. Wild Weasel, you do them all red. You keep them pure. You keep them. You could get a retro card out of them, sure. But I think that's a cheap way to do it and would dissatisfy a lot of people. You give Wild Weasel, you give that Baroness exactly like you guys are saying, and you give that turret trooper type, some sort of troop build for sure. The fourth figure I want is some sort of ground crew, because I am looking at how this vehicle gets displayed on it. Right, some sort of flagger, perhaps a different variation of a Techno Viper, perhaps a whole new Cobra support Viper of some type that's there to do high ballistic weapons and things like that.
And some type of ladder system would be nice, whether it be a mobile one or just a straight. I mean, some type of thing to get in the jet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. A rollable ladder platform.
Or maybe that's what the fourth trooper is he's actually just a guy that has a step ladder backpack and he bends over and you climb up.
Ladder Viper.
Ladder
Viper. There it is, man. We got to make one now.
Yeah, more pets. Yeah, and I see the chat's naming off every other kind of character, including some really creative ones here. But this was really just about the Rattler one because I think most of the chips on the table are in the Rattler pile right now for as far as the betting goes, guys. But again, nothing is carved in stone. They haven't said jack squat about it as far as alluding. There's been red herrings, there's been speculations, but we don't know any better than any of you, right? Yeah. So what do you guys got on the go between now and Thursday? I will say, because I know what's happening Thursday for most of us, if not definitely Friday. But what's happening between now and then? And I'll start with Aaron this time. What are you up to this week?
I'm going to be, I finally have my parts from Loki that I needed to work on my devilfish. So I want to finish my devilfish. Again, it's not going to be modeled after the exact devilfish. It's going to look similar, but it is coming from the Fortnite boat. So it ain't going to look exactly. If I wanted the devilfish exact, I could 3D print it now if I wanted it, but it's going to be a modified devilfish. It's going to look cool. We're going to put some extra gear on it. We're going to toy enhancer it out. And I've been dedicating a lot of time to methodically planning out shots and scenes and how to do it and whatnot for my next Cobra Army video, because I haven't done that in like over a month. I think this might have been longer than that. So I know my fans are wanting to see the next Cobra Army. I got to get back out there in the woods and everything. Crow, I've seen you outside almost every video you do now. I'm super jelly. I won't
lie, that was because of you. Yeah,
I got to make that time. And by the way, I want to compliment you on all your editing that you have been doing lately. It is immaculate, and your videos they've done a total 360 for the good, man. That is just awesome. I'm very, very happy to watch your new content. It's it's awesome. Your old content is great, but this stuff's awesome.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that you noticed I'm editing that finally. But this is about you, brother. What else is going on?
Well, like I said, we're gonna dip into the Cobra Army, and I'm just going through all my screenshots and everything, and I can tell you a little bit about the plot. We left off with we finally stole a mech from Cobra. We're taking it back to the pit. So we're going back to the pit, and we're gonna do some modifications and hopefully get some help from somebody. G.I. Joe needs a little help on this Cobra battle, and Cobra is out in the forest still, and they weren't too concerned about when the G.I. Joes came and stole that mech. Obviously, they're out there for something bigger and badder. So we're going to be able to go into Cobra's actual throne room, and we're going to see some scenes where him and Destro are talking about their plans for, of course, world domination.
Love it. And of course, if I remember right, Snake Eyes, isn't he still out and about right now? Like
Snake Eyes was last we seen Snake Eyes. He was getting picked up by the Tomahawk with Flint Spirit, and they were in Beachhead, and they were picking him up from the mech, and they're all flying back to the pit as we speak.
Right on. Okay, guys. So you guys can check Aaron, the toy enhancer, out on his channel. Go through his video catalog, follow that story, and
follow it under Cobra Army.
There we go. And so down south, I gotta get to you, brother. And before I do, Aaron gave me a lot of credit on some editing. I was super inspired on doing some editing because for those of you that didn't know, the other day, I've been having a kind of a crappy little while lately, mood-wise. And I got the biggest laugh in the mail from down south 77 in the form of chuckles. So that's the video that Aaron was referring to. Thank you again. down south for that.
Mhm.
But let's talk about your week coming, buddy. What's going on besides the camper and lawns?
Mostly stress and heat.
Mhm.
I won't be back at the camper. I've got to mow my yard today. It's supposed to be like 97 here this afternoon, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't have much I'm trying to do other than remember everything I need to pack and get organized and get ready for this weekend. Got one review I want to try and do on this dude right here that I picked up yesterday.
Yes. I didn't know he came with a tail, man. That is sweet.
Yeah, he comes with
He
the
does.
Bro,
comes
I
with
didn't
a
see that
whole
until
tail.
later, man. I need that.
Mhm.
So,
We'll be watching the review to see how that all goes together.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So I want to try to get him out and get him opened up, but I have a lot of housekeeping type stuff I need to do around here this week. I'm going to have a rough week at work. Some of the stuff I got to do and some of the heat, and going to be on a stream with Pot Blender on Tuesday on his channel. Matthew Matson is out of town, so I'm going to be filling in with some other special guests on Pop Blender's show. So we will once again have to leave you, Aaron, if you're doing yours on Tuesday night, and I have to actually get on with him that night. That's really it. I just got to straighten my house up, make sure I've got all of the food my dog and house sitter likes, and make sure I remember everything I want to take to Joefest. I got a couple of shorts I want to make that are like, road to Joefest or something silly like that. One in mind I want to do. So I just need to take care of regular old business this week and look forward to seeing everybody next weekend.
Right on. Oh, sorry. I'm just going through the chat. Grievance, I see your comment. I'm just going to leave it for everybody in the comment. Yeah, it's a worthy comment. I'm just not going to put it there.
That only fixes the thing for a couple seconds, Grievance.
Yeah. So,
I see. I thought that was the comment you were talking about. What you highlighted. I'm like, Happy Father's Day. What's wrong? Oh, that's a Grievance talking about masturbation. So
Grievance is our resident Dice Clay today.
Even Green Day got bored with that.
Yeah, and so just to recap, guys, if you're looking for Aaron the Toy Enhancer, because I did see a comment asking, where do I find this guy? Aaron the Toy Enhancer has a YouTube channel called Aaron the Toy Enhancer. He's got a Facebook page. He's got Instagram. He's got all sorts of ways for you to find.
This is crazy.
Down South 77.
Wait, there's more.
You can find Down South 77 at 3 Stars Wild on YouTube. 3-Star Draw on YouTube, and Sevens Wild, which is the one that he does with his cousin, a Pop Blender. And what's the name of the show that you're guest hosting? It was Matt and Pop.
That's on Pop Blender's channel, which is Pop Blender, and that show he just calls it The Big Show.
There you go. So the Big Show. So if you aren't following Pop Blender, please jump on over, seek him out, and make sure you're following him as well. He's a
pop culture
stuff. Right after the Tiny Show.
He talks about all the sort of subtopics outside of Joe that we always end up wanting to talk about anyways. Definitely organic to what you guys are watching from what we see of his. Definitely check him out. For myself this week, I am trying to get some loose ends tied up before I hop on a plane and go visit some guy I met down in Atlanta, Georgia area. We'll
have to tune in next week to find out.
Closing out some real big grown-up stuff, which will be some big changes this year in the channel, and you guys will see that. I'm going to spin it all into a beautiful little mess for you. But this Wednesday, I think it is, we're working on the schedule. I am going to be doing another Crow's Nest Live with a guest. I'm not mentioning who that guest is, but you guys know them. And you'll get to see them here on my channel. And that should be Wednesday that we get that one out of the way. But aside from that, I really don't have a whole lot of content planned, guys, because I've got to get ready for this big trip, right? So you might see one or two more video as far as character reveals, and that'll be it until we're at Joefest doing all this stuff.
We'll be making
And we should
content then.
Yeah.
We should be also having another one of these, another backyard battlefield. Looks like that will be on June the 3rd, and that will probably be probably be on my channel or on
June
June
3rd. That's over a year from now. July the 3rd or June 3rd?
July.
July. There we go.
That's yours, Darren. That one, and I'll pick up the next.
All right.
So guys,
that one we may. Well, that one will be tentative. That one is going to depend on. That one's going to depend on weather. So, I mean, we will do it, but we'll let you guys know. I was just looking at the calendar, and that's actually the first day of my vacation. So, we'll get it. We'll get it done, though. We'll let y'all know.
Yeah, for sure. And yes, we have Instagrams. Mine is still Crusty Old Crow at Instagram, and Aaron the Toy Enhancer. Is yours 3-star draw or 7s or 3 down south 77 for you?
It's down south 7 the word, then 7 the number. I just put it in chat.
There you go. So if you're looking for us on Instagram, there you are. And 3-star, he's put that up there, guys. I gotta call it. I have a Father's Day brunch I gotta get ready for. The family's cooked me something. I'm going to eat it. But thank you very much for joining us in this chat today. Those of you who did, and thank you hitting that like button because I know you're gonna, right? But that's it.
The like.
Any last thoughts? I'll start with Aaron for last rounds, and then we'll call it.
Oh, I just wanted to say happy Father's Day, and even Darren. I mean, I know you take care of Pretzel, man.
Yep.
That's your baby.
Yep.
You're a father too. We're all fathers in some sort of way, whether it be pets, kids, or you can even mentor people. You can have kids that aren't yours, but you're still being a father figure. You're still putting that good, establishing that good behavior that they need to see. So because people do mimic. People mimic, especially kids. Put out that good fatherly behavior, especially if you know a kid that doesn't have a father.
Yeah. I have 100% echo that sentiment. Down south.
Nothing quite as prolific. Happy Father's Day to everybody that's a father in one way or another. I'm about to change clothes and actually load Pretzel up in the truck and go see my father for a few minutes and give him his card and gift I got him. And he did not want to go do anything today because it is so damn hot and he has issues breathing. So he didn't want to go out in the heat. We're going to do it at another time when it's cooler. So everybody get out and go see your dads if you are able to and play with your toys.
Right on. All right, guys. So super hot down in Tennessee. I'm so glad I'm up north right now because I don't think I'm ready for that heat right away to go work outside the way that down south is. And
get ready for it next weekend, buddy, because it's going to be about the same.
Yeah, I gotta psych myself up to going back into hot.
Do you own shorts?
Yeah.
Bring some flip flops.
Yeah. Do you own shorts? Okay.
I own shorts. I just don't have the sexy legs for shorts. I'll tell you that.
None of us do. You'll match.
Yeah. But listen, y'all, I appreciate all of you guys stopping by. And just a real quick shout out, Triple C, Cobra Crimson Commander. I know you're healing up. You're getting ready. You're doing that whole Rocky training montage to get back into the swing of it. Can't wait.
Triple C.
Buddy. Wraith Nate's always thinking of you, buddy. And we'll see you in the chat groups real soon. And anybody else who's watching this but wasn't able to partake in live, just know we were with you. We get you. We love it. And we'll see you guys real soon. All right. Have a great one.
See you guys.
See you on the next time.
There we go.